It's me, Jackie Devoy, 2020 chat with my old friend, my very good friend, Geza Tarjanyi. Here he is. Hi, Geza.
Hello, how you doing?
What
Is
have
that
you
in
got
reverse?
there? What have you? No, it's the right way around, strangely, for me, anyway.
Well, that's brilliant. Right, so this is partly of what I'm working on a report. So my name's Geza Tarjanyi. I've been a campaigner, full-time campaigner since 2012 up to where we are now. My background is, first of all, stopping fracking, closing four sites, which you will never hear from the Greens. It's important that everybody out there disassociates, cut themselves off from Friends of the Earth, Greenpeace, Green Party, and do not fund them. Right? And it's tied up with what's in this book. It's called Undercover. I suggest everybody reads it because they've changed the tactics.
Who's it by?
There's already, sorry, go on.
Who's it by? The book?
Oh, the book is by two ex-Guardian, or they might probably still working with the Guardian. So it's Rob Evans and Paul Lewis. Rob Evans and Paul Lewis.
And
All
what's it
right. And
about? Tell
it's
us about it.
well, so we've got 20
They are
minutes. So I'm
not
just
your
going to put
friends,
that
they are
on.
your targets. Yeah, got it, got it. That is good.
Hopefully you can read that.
Yeah.
And that's the actual book. And the premise is they had relationships. They went deep undercover. They stole the identities of children that died at birth, babies that died at birth, which allowed them to get licenses, IDs. And
Yeah.
under those false names, they then had relationships with female campaigners,
Yeah.
and they had babies with some of those female campaigners. And now there's an inquiry about it, and it's gone on for years. What I'm trying to do is show the new tactics, whether you use misogynist people like myself, right? That's
Yeah.
not, but being, yeah, and using grandmas and women and female police officers to it's another way to shut you up and close you down, and use the harassment,
Yeah.
alarm and distress. Now I've got three cases against me. So I was a lawful man before fracking. I've now got three harassment cases where I found guilty in court, even though they lied in court, and I've got the evidence. That's what the report I'm building on. First one was Tina Rothery of
Yeah.
Green Party, Tina Rothery, and fully supported by Friends of the Earth right from 2012 to where we are now, even appearing on her donation ads. You know, you get these little things, right?
Yeah.
Second one was Matt Hancock, yes,
Woohoo.
Health
Yeah.
Secretary. He also lied in court when he said he hadn't heard about Madaslam. I am still trying to raise the funds to get him in court to
Yeah.
face charges. And then the third one was Chorley Police protected Tina Rothery and her gang. And they lied in the statement. I was arrested at the station when I was actually giving them evidence of imminent threat from a guy called Axeman. This is what you face when you're doing this. And they arrested me, lied in the statement, allowed to be a lie in court. And again, a harassment. All three were harassment. And that's what they're using now. Okay.
Yeah.
So the Greens, and as you know, Green Party and the Wokes are using this along with the politician, MPs, and everything else. And it's nigh on impossible, unless you've got nailed on video evidence, which I have, never been presented in court, that to beat this, because it's somebody's feelings. All right. They found the golden egg, the golden goose, if you will,
Yeah.
of the fact is that they can use this harassment, alarm, and distress. You caused to me, and you've seen all the different ways now where they're knocking on people's doors and blah, blah, online and everything else. So now this is being abused. What I'm now doing is bringing our cases together. So this is twofold what I'm doing. Not only exposing the Green and making people aware of Friends of the Earth, and I will take Friends of the Earth on in court because I have got everything. I have documented in emails going right back to 2012. And in fact, my first meeting was Helen Rimmer of Friends of the Earth. I have been to I've done a lock on actually in their building, right? All videoed again to expose Friends of the Earth. They are an NGO, and all the NGOs, including the unions and especially Unite, are all controlled. Being no doubt. The report I'm working on now is to expose that and give a case to work on case law that we can bring to expose these NGOs and defend ourselves. So we have a defense against them because they are Friends of the Earth. They are Greenpeace.
Yeah.
Right? Extinction Rebellion. You know, these people are supposed to be on your side and they're not. They actually eat up grassroots. So that's the first one. I know we're limited for time. So the second one is all the wins we've already had, and we have had many wins. We won in Lancashire County Council at 2015 with all the evidence and months of hard work that you will never hear from the Greens and Friends of the Earth, right? They never mention people like me and my experts, never mention them. So I am bringing those experts together, not just in fracking, where we won not only in our councils and court cases. We had a win, I think it was either last year before, where my case, I'm using climate, even though I'm not believing it, but using the climate con to actually win at Supreme Court. So she used my lawyers that I'd used at the time. She used my case, right? So the same case, and eventually we won. And I'm saying to you, if you wear these people down and stick with the facts and stick with the same legal team, then they don't need to be blooded every single time. So if you just go into you go into a brief and you say to them, this is my case, they're going from a standing start. If you use the same brief, bomb, for each case, they're already blooded.
Yeah.
And then eventually you'll get your win. Now, what I'm doing now is in the fracking, to start off with, is use that to bring case law in so you can be defended and you can use a case law, as in Tarjanyi or Frackman versus the Crown or whatever. Yeah. And then you can use that in future to expose your councils or protect yourself from your councils, because it's not just about the toxic industry. It's about the impact and the lies and the deceit and the fact that the government, no matter, and if reform get in, they want fracking, then you will have a defence before they get in.
Yeah.
I am doing this now while we're in downtime. I know we've got various other things, but while we're in downtime with the fracking, is to bring those experts together, use those wins, including the last one at the Supreme Court, for us to get in a room and say, right, we've already got our wins, we've already got our a benchmark. Yeah. Now bring that together, and how do we now get it to court or get it to High Court or judicial review, where we say, right, this is a defence, these are the mitigated, we need the environment sorted out, we need the impact on the people, the communities.
Yeah.
Is it right? We already have that. So, and bring that in with the dangers that have been proven. So originally they said that earthquakes wouldn't cause, fracking wouldn't cause earthquakes. It caused earthquakes on April the 1st, April Fool's Day. That woke me up. April the 1st, Fool's Day 2011. We got it into the council in 2015, and a guy called Professor Smythe, Professor Smythe, said it will happen again, because we're heavily faulted. The whole country is heavily faulted, but we've got many faults on the Foul Coast. And then what happened in 2018, 2019, after Sajid Javid, and I'll say it again, the Asian, the person that's not doing anything for this country, another agent that comes in this country, right, to then allow it, bypass the community, bypass the regulation, bypass a council that was probably the most educated in the whole country after we'd finished with them. And then in 2018, 2019, the inevitable happened, and fracking caused earthquakes, which stopped the site. But in that time, 3 years, people died in our community trying to stop fracking after we had proved everything. Everything we said has been evidenced, right? Everything. Now, that's the fracking side of it. People like me and yourself stood up in 2020 against the COVID fraud because we were already blooded. You see, so this is how it works. We knew straight away within days it's not something doesn't smell right. Did we realize at the time it was going to go on for the amount of time it went on for and lockdowns? No. But what we did is we went out there and challenged them, and we videoed and we documented, and people like myself went down to London and stayed in London and recorded the police not wearing masks in their vans, as an example. Yeah. Speaking to Chris Whitty and Van Tam, following Van Tam into the Ministry of Defence, where he was being pitched by Pfizer and Moderna, which toxic chemical is going to go into our service personnel, right? Documented. Yeah. I was arrested for that. Questioned Chris Whitty at Oxford, questioned Van Tam, and released without charge, even though Boris Johnson was saying I was assaulting and shouting him. So what I'm saying is we have all the evidence in fracking. We have a vast amount of evidence in for the COVID fraud, including Matt Hancock lying in my case when him and the Met Police set me up at the protest pen after 6 months. When he set me up, I went to speak to him, followed him. People may have seen the video down the underground at Westminster. you murdering scumbag, you bastard, and asking about Midazolam time and time again. And the fact that he harassed me and 64 million people under the COVID fraud. He lied in court that he'd never heard of Midazolam. And there is actually a government Hansard video showing that he was confirming with a Dr. Luke Evans that they had procured all the Midazolam virtually from France.
Yeah, that's in at the start of my first documentary, A Good Death.
There you go.
I used that bit of that Hansard video there.
And he lied.
So that
he
was,
lied.
that was April.
I was just going to say, just going to
2020.
say something as well that everybody needs to understand. As we know, the papers and the media are absolutely complicit in everything that happened, right? Yeah. And also the Met Police, including Charing Cross Police Station, that I target time and time again. The ones that actually spoke out and also was talking about DNRs was the Mail newspaper. Yeah. And the Mail have been on it from 2020. Yeah. I think even in April, they were talking about the amount of DNRs that were being put into our hospitals. Now, it was the Mail in the court that then put it onto their site. I think it was the Mail Online, talking about the fact that Hancock had lied in court, then put that section of the Midazolam with Dr. Luke Evans, and Van Tam was also on there, and also Hunt was on there as well. So on that little section, they put up on the internet. They have been on the money. And I think it's people like the Mail that are going to help us get forward. So once this report is together, it will show how we went from policing at the fracking site that involved the Gazette, involved the Mail, involved the planning committee under Operation Manila. All right, Operation Manila. And then the transition from the same people that were working against me, people like Ian Roberts, the brother of, I'm trying to be as quick as I can. So this is Green Party Ian Roberts. Yeah. Don't know if you can see that. Green Party Ian Roberts. It was there right at the beginning when I first started. Remember, I was never a campaigner. That's his brother, Mark Roberts. And we didn't find out who his brother was until 2017. Yeah. Right. That's the brother. He was Silver Command at Barton Moss. And when I found that out, everything I'd done, everything he had done, everything he worked against before, all fell into place. Then I read this book. They have changed the tactics. Now, the deputy police commissioner of the Met apologized to the ladies that were in this book, undercover, right? Apologized and said it would never happen again. It is happening again. I have the proof. I am in a unique position that I can tie in Operation Manila that was at Preston Road and actually went into the whole community, into all our lives, right? It was an intelligence-led operation into Operation Tala, where we were taking on COVID. And remember, Charing Cross Police Station had the evidence before my appeal, which wasn't a true appeal. Charing Cross Police Station had my evidence of Hansard, and under the Home Office counting rules, they had to investigate that video, and they never did.
I was going to ask you, obviously, we want people to help with this. We've got the crowdfunder to help you set up getting Matt Hancock back into court. What do you think the chances are actually getting him back into court using this?
We just need the funds. We just need the funds. We've got everything, absolutely everything. From how it affected us and the harassment. The main thing is I was found guilty of harassment, alarm and distress. Yeah. And my point was, when I was speaking to him just at the beginning of the video, of the live feed, was you caused 64 million people. Remember the line, release the latest variant. That is incitement to cause alarm and distress.
Let's scare the pants off them. That was another leaked one.
Well, there's a bunch of them. And we are not allowed to get him in court. And I'm going to call out Andy Bridgen, right? Andy Bridgen has got hundreds of thousands of pounds for defamation. He has never helped me. He's even had the 2 AstraZenecas. Now, I've been open and not speaking to him. I am now calling him out. Why he's in contact with his legal team? Yeah. He came up saying they were being attacked. They always get attacked when they take the government on. So, Andy Bridgen, there is something very, very fishy about you. Once a politician, always a politician, when you're talking about Riker Fulmick, but not about my case. Yeah. I call out anybody that's questionable. I'm not in this to make friends. I'm in this to protect my country and protect our children. Yeah. That's the only reason I'm in this. I put my life on the line. I don't earn anything. I don't know political ambitions or anything from this one. I just want the wins that will get our country back and get these bastards in prison. So
Yeah.
we have got a crowdfunder. Thank you, Jackie, for that. We have got a crowdfunder that went up in July of last year, and we're still on £2,000. All I'm asking for is £10,000. 10,000 to then get to the point where we can get this case in, because it can't just be I have uh, one visit to the legal team. I have to build this case up.
Yeah, it's a lot of work.
Right? That's how you do this. Andy Bridgen has wasted hundreds of £1,000s for his character. Mine is to get justice for everybody murdered by Midazolam and everybody that was absolutely destroyed their lives because of Matt Hancock and his controllers in Davos.
I mean, in Bridgen's defence, he has been helpful with us and some of the families who have lost loved ones to the Midazolam horror. And he did set that meeting in Parliament with us back in 2023, and he's helped the Dimmock family very much so with the inquest. So
no, he hasn't. He's cashed in on the Dimmock family. I'm sorry, Jackie. I say that it is. He's cashed in on them because he hasn't done what my case would help the Dimmock family. My case would, like I said to you, I'm not in this to make friends, and I will call out people that are not playing by.
Absolutely fair enough.
And working with us.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? I'm not in it to make friends, and I don't do diplomacy, and I don't do political speak. I do. He has had two. I said to him, why didn't you go after Oxford University? Because they're underwritten by Lloyds. You can't sue Pfizer, but you can sue Oxford University. I gave him that. I've given it to many people. Why hasn't he done it? He had two AstraZenecas. He could save this country by doing that. So all the simple things he's not doing.
Yeah.
So yes, I will call him out. And like I said, I think he's doing a great job. I think he's been brave before. And I spoke to him back in 2020 and thought he was brave. But since then, there are too many questions of why he's not doing the simple thing. All our good people are not talking to each other, including Andy Bridgen. So anybody out there that's hearing what I'm saying, I am the real deal. I am a genuine guy. I have put everything on the line. I've been consistent and I have everything. Believe me, I have everything. From emails, the words, the videos, the recordings, the court cases. It's all there. All I need to do is get it in front of a legal team and hopefully a good legal team that are already blooded. Someone that's already taken on somebody that with Midazolam, the Dimmock family. But it has to be somebody so we're not going from a standing start. So you're going to say, what have you got? What have you got? It has to be somebody that's already blooded. Let's get it in front of them and let's get this mess sorted out. Because the only way we're going to win it now is, let's just say, how long we got left, Jackie?
1 or 2 minutes.
Right. So we had Tommy Robinson, who's faced Kate and Katie, what's her name? Bloody comedian. Katie Hopkins. Yeah. They've all faced everything they've done. Same with Corbyn. They've all faced what I faced. Right? So we are kindred spirits.
Yeah.
Why didn't he keep people down there on Saturday? There's 1,000 people. You stay there. It's game over. Game over. But they're not going to do that. So I do many things. I wish we could do that. But I won't be on invited on stage. Because if I'd have been on stage, I would have said, everybody, sit down, stay here until we get the government out.
Yeah.
Simplest thing in the world. Hundreds of thousands of people, sit down, stay here till this government's out. Don't just do a talk and then piss off all. They do that time and time again.
Yeah.
So that's not going to happen. So what we're going to do now is, like I said, court cases and case law is the way that we can do this. And I have everything.
Brilliant. Well, Geza, you've frozen. That's good timing. I'm just going to say thank you very much for one of the easiest interviews I've ever done. And you're still frozen on screen, but I'm going to say thank you and goodbye. And I'll speak to you soon. Bye for now.